Hi, kindergartners. I hope that you had a wonderful February vacation. We are back to school and ready to learn. So let's get started with this week's science lesson. In today's science lesson, we are going to talk about a specific type of weather and how that weather is a certain color. But first, let's go over the states of matter. Before vacation, we learned about solid, liquids, and gases, and we learned what makes them different. That solid matter keeps its shape, liquid matter takes the shape of the container that it's in, and it can flow or move on its own. And then gas matter also doesn't have a shape, it just fills the space that it's in. And gas matter can be very tricky to see. After we were experts at understanding solids, liquids, and gases, we learned that there are some objects on Earth that can change their state of matter, and that is water. Water can change its state of matter based on its temperature. Remember, normal room temperature water is going to be a liquid. When water gets freezing cold, it turns into a solid, and that can look like ice cubes or snow or hail. Lastly, when water is a gas, it is very, very, very hot and it's steamy and it becomes water droplets in the air. So the specific type of matter that we're going to talk about is water in a solid form when it is snow. And the mystery question that I'm going to ask you today is, why is snow white? I'm going to read that again. If you want, you can read it off the screen with me. Why is snow white? We're going to get started with this mystery lesson.
Hi, it's Doug. Do you get snow where you live? I live in California, where the only snow that we get is up in the mountains. But you can buy this stuff. It's fake snow. It's what they use in movies when they don't have real snow around. And it looks pretty real. Someone named Hudaifa has a question about snow. Let's give him a call now.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Hudaifa.
I have a question for you. Why is snow white?
That's a great question.
Snow is really white, isn't it? You know, it's actually surprising that snow has a color at all. After all, snow is made of water. Water is totally clear. You can see right through it. So if snow is made of water, why does it look white? Do you have any ideas?
So let's make predictions. Let's start to kind of just shout out or have a conversation or turn and talk with somebody nearby. Why do you think snow is white? And if you need some extra think time, you can pause the video. What causes the snow to be white? Think about snow once it's on the ground, when you see big snow piles. Why isn't snow blue or purple or red? If you pause the video, press play when you're ready to move on.
Okay, you ready? Well, you might know that each piece of snow, each snowflake, is a tiny piece of ice. Snow is made of water that's frozen. Maybe that has something to do with it. Ice can look white sometimes, right? But ice can also be clear, just like a glass of water. It would be helpful if we could get a closer look at a snowflake. This person is taking a snowflake and putting it under a microscope. That way she can see what it looks like close up. Check it out. Look at that. This is what a snowflake looks like close up. Wow. Now you can see a snowflake is mostly clear. You can see right through it, just like a glass of water or a clear piece of ice. But is the entire snowflake clear? Do you see any parts that don't look clear? Like, notice here, here, here. These parts look more white, don't they? What is it about these parts that makes them look white? Well, if we could turn a snowflake on its side like this, we would see that a snowflake isn't completely flat. It has bumps or edges all over it. Notice how the white parts of the snowflake are the parts that have those edges or bumps. But still, a snowflake is mostly clear. So why would snow look white? I mean, why doesn't snow look clear? Well, keep in mind, when you're looking at a bunch of snow like this, you're looking at lots and lots of snowflakes all piling up. That means you're looking at a lot more of those edges. We can see the same thing with other clear materials, like this piece of glass. This is a helpful way to think about it. Just like a snowflake, this piece of glass is mostly clear. You can see through it. But notice how some of the edges look white? Well, now, watch what happens as we pile up more and more pieces of glass on top of each other, just like snowflakes piling up. I'll speed things up a bit here. You see that? Look, it's starting to look a lot more white. This explains why a single snowflake looks mostly clear, but snow itself, which is made of lots of snowflakes, doesn't look clear anymore. It looks white. But why do the edges of each snowflake look white? Why not some other color? Well, what if I told you that snow isn't always white? Take a look at the snow here. What color would you say it is? It doesn't look white anymore. I would say it looks pink. And that's because you've got the pink light of the sunset shining on it. Or check this out. Here, the snow looks orange from the orange light of these street lamps. The edges of each snowflake aren't always white. It depends on the color of the light that's shining on them. So why is snow white? Where is there white light that's shining on snow? It's right here, the sun. Sunlight is usually white, at least in the middle of the daytime. Now, I know you might think of sunlight as being yellow, like maybe when you draw a picture, you color the sun yellow. But in real life, have a look at this. When the sun is high in the sky during the day, you see it's actually more white than it is yellow. So in summary, snowflakes are mostly clear, except for their bumps or edges. It's at the edges where it looks more white. When we're looking at snow, we're seeing lots of snowflakes all piled together, so we're seeing all those edges. The reason the edges of each snowflake look white has to do with the color of the sunlight. Sunlight looks white when it's the middle of the day. So snow is white because the sun is white. But if the sun were blue or purple, then snow would look blue or purple too. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Hudaifa, for asking it. Have fun and stay curious.
What we ended up learning from investigating with Doug was that there are two reasons why snow is white. The first is because snowflakes are not perfectly flat. They actually have bumps and edges. And when those bumps and those edges of the snowflakes pile up on top of each other, we end up seeing white instead of the clearness that's more in the middle of a snowflake. The second reason why snow is white is because the sun gives off a white light. Now, sometimes when we see the sun or when we draw the sun, we might draw it yellow or orange or even a little bit red sometimes. But the reality is that the sun gives off a white light. And you could see this in that bottom picture, that the sun is shining off white light onto the white snow. All right, kindergarten friends, so you have two jobs today after you watch this video. The first job is to show me what you learned. And we're going to do a writing activity. You will find this piece of paper inside of your science packet. If you do not know where this paper is, then you could just pause the video and you can finish these sentences on a blank piece of paper. You'll need a pencil as well. I'll read the sentences to you. It says, why is snow white? A question that we have seen many times already today in this video. And there are some blank spaces that you need to fill in to show me what you learned. Snow has blank and blank. Remember when Doug showed us a snowflake very, very closely? We could see that snowflakes are not perfectly flat, that they have bumps and edges. When those bumps and edges pile up on top of each other, it makes the snow blank. What color does it make the snow? And lastly, snow is also white because of the blank. We also learned that there is something up in the sky that gives off a white light. Think about that when you're finishing that last sentence. And you will glue this worksheet into your science journal when you're done. The second job today is optional. If there is snow on the ground, I would like you to go observe the snow up close. And what I mean by that, when I say observe, is to use your 5 senses. Use your eyes to look at the snow up close. Can you see those bumps and those edges? Use your ears. Listen to the snow. Does it make any noises? Use your nose. Smell the snow. Does it have a scent? Use your hands. I want you to feel the snow. And if you're daring, maybe you even use your sense of taste, but please make sure it's perfectly white snow. When you're done with your science jobs today, please take a picture of your writing. And if you made any observations, I would love to see those. And do a really good job on your science lesson today, because next week we are going to do a snowflake arts and craft. You will need this worksheet for next week's lesson, so please make sure that you put this in a safe spot and that you do not use this until next week's science lesson. Have fun with today's work. Bye, boys and girls.